You commentated this past weekend, right?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Unless
And
something happened.
you were there in spirit, because I know you were gonna be there, and then Gabe from Struggle Bus Go, who does the YouTube channel, came on, and we did it together. It was a lot of fun. It was a good time.
Yeah,
So
did it feel any different the second time around? It was your second time, right? Commentating.
yeah, it was my second time, and it felt different just because it was working with a different person, but definitely we had the benefit of, or I had the benefit of going through it the first time with you and just saying like,
Hmm.
okay, great, like what worked well. Is there anything that we want to adjust and tweak? And I think the big takeaway was we often think that we're saying things that are really simple, but there's
Hmm.
still terminology and jargon that a beginner would never know. You know what I mean?
Right. Oh, because you guys were still going for that beginner audience in your commentary, right?
Exactly. That's what Enrique, the organizer, kind of wanted us to focus on for the first round. So
Yeah. When you get deeper into the world of Go, you don't even realize how much jargon you start spewing. It's kind of
yeah,
crazy. It's one
it
of the
is.
things I. Uh-huh.
Oh, you're right. I mean, it is crazy. I mean, you even think about, like, I don't know if you experience it in your job as well. Like, I had a meeting today, and we were meeting with clients, and we started saying some jargon, and they're like, what is that?" And they're like, "Oh gosh, whoops, have to step
Oh
back."
yeah, I no for sure. I don't have like as much interaction with outsider clients like that, but I know that if someone were to like listen in on the conversation, they would not know what we were. They would not be sure if we're speaking English. So
No clue. Yeah.
you're listening to Starpoint, the show about Go for Go fans, away from the board, and that's the show you're listening to. And you might be kind of doing a double take if you're a Go podcast listener, you might be hearing two voices that you normally don't hear together from your speakers, headset, or whatever. Because today we have a very special guest, Travis from All Things Go. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah.
If you
We're
don't
both
know,
here.
Travis,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, we're both here. This is the
Yeah.
second time, or I guess second/third, depending on when the other episode releases. Um, But if you don't know about All Things Go, I mean, I'd be surprised, first of all, because I think everyone who listens to Starpoint probably also has listened to or listens to All Things Go. But Travis runs the other Go podcast on the block. So go check it out. And I'll be sure to link his podcast in the description of this episode. But yeah, welcome, Travis. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Justin. This is fun.
Yeah, let's have some fun talking about Go stuff.
Yeah.
I know I answered a lot of questions about myself on your episode. I was curious about a few things about you. As I'm always curious of Go players, how long have you been playing Go and how did you get started?
Yeah, I got involved with AlphaGo. So the documentary came out, and I think it was even a few years after AlphaGo actually happened. But the documentary got on Netflix, and I remember it was like a Sunday, and my dad and my stepmom were down visiting, from 3 or 4 hours away where they live, and we were just looking to go ahead and have something to do before they left, and we turned on the beginning of the AlphaGo documentary, and I was like, this is really interesting. And they left, and I wanted to check it out a bit more, so I did, and that started the whole kind of on again, off again process for me of learning about the
Mm-hmm.
game. And then after that, we headed into the pandemic, and so went into the pandemic again. I'd known about the game a little bit. I had dabbled in it online, but hadn't really been playing. And I went through this period of playing, or not even playing. I was just like reading books or trying to find websites and that
Mm-hmm.
about it and strategy just to see if I could understand it better, because I was so thoroughly confused when I would try to do just basic problems in Sumego.
Yeah.
Um, and so that eventually led to me actually starting to play games. And I started playing games in like 2022 online. So, yeah.
Oh, so okay, so the time span between your exposure from AlphaGo documentary to that first game was like a couple years at least then, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was at least a year, maybe two, and then in the
Uh-huh.
pandemic, and then it's like I would be thoroughly confused. I would be like, I'm dropping this for a bit, and
Yeah,
then
no, for sure.
come back later and be like, you know what, but I gotta try this again. I think I was honestly just so shocked at how horrible I was at it. I was like, wow, my brain cannot see these patterns at all. And then I'd play against the computer a bit on like 9x9 or something like this, get frustrated. And then, a few weeks later or a month later, I'm like, should check this out again.
I wonder how common an experience that is where you get exposure to the game and then your like actual debut and or period of time where you take it seriously is delayed, because that's kind of what I went through.
Right.
And yeah, there are a few like major catalyst events like AlphaGo documentary, or just the news of AlphaGo.
Right.
And then Hikaru no Go back in like 2000s was another one. I can't think of any like other ones that are as big as those two, but I think those 2 points in our past few decades were big drivers of the game. I was not part of either of those. My initial exposure to the game was when I was quite young. I've talked about it in the show.
Yes.
And then over time, I saw it like every now and then, and it took like, I don't know, so long for me to just want to actually play the game. So I wonder how often that happens. And because I relate to that with you. Starting the game at first and feeling like this wasn't like, I don't know, it just wasn't sticking, and it's just really hard. But I feel like maybe it just takes a while to like even get your footing. Have you met anyone else who had that kind of delayed on and off start?
It's anecdotal, Justin, but like there has to be something there, because it may tie back to any sort of endeavor or game or hobby or anything that isn't like instantly understandable. I think if there's any level of nuance and complexity and it's not on the surface, oh, I know exactly how this is or why it's fun, I think this has got to be happening, because I do think it ties back into, I think, some of the things that we talk about in the Go world around trying to get the people in our lives more involved with Go. So, I don't know if you've done it with, your loved ones or anything like that, or friends. And I know you have a few friends as well that play, but it's like this whole thing of I show it to them, and then like the chances that they want to actually come back to it is quite low. I mean, it's just really challenging. So there's gotta be, I've definitely come across people also that have said, oh yeah, I started it, but honestly, I don't think I would have gotten into the game if it weren't for the circumstances of the pandemic. Like just having this period, it was me, my wife, and we had our firstborn son, and which was kind of perfect because if you had like a toddler in the pandemic, like I don't know how you survived. Like that must have been really challenging. But if you had a baby and everything was hopefully okay, the baby's fine. Like for us, it was perfect, right? Like we had less stress. Sense. I mean, yes, there was the uncertainty out in the world, but we were very lucky to not have to worry about jobs at that time. And it was like, wow, I had all this extra time. And so I could keep going back to it. And by the way, there wasn't a whole lot else. I couldn't go out and see people. We could go, hike and things like that, which we love to do as a family. But I think the circumstances, around the pandemic, like really created the opportunity. And then my wife was completely caught off guard because she's like, literally, in all the time I've known you, which has been, I mean, years, but just at a distance, she's like, I've never seen you remotely interested in a board game.
That's hilarious. I've had little to no success with trying to get people to play Go.
Yeah.
I have one friend who kind of said that they were interested because he started learning mahjong, and I was like, "Why are you
Ah.
learning?" Why are you learning mahjong?" And he was like, "Everyone's playing mahjong," and I'm like, "Okay, I don't know anyone playing mahjong personally, but if you say so." But that segued into Go, so I was like, he's like, "Okay, sure, like I'd be down to learn that," and so that's
Yeah.
one avenue that I can take. Funny
So
that you mentioned that. Oh,
yeah.
go for it.
No, no, no. I just want to say it's so funny you mentioned mahjong because my stepmother, maybe a year ago, she started saying, "Oh, by the way, I'm getting into mahjong," and I was like, "What?" Like she lives in kind of a not a remote area, but it's not near any kind of big city where you would culturally say, "Oh, yes,"
Yeah, yeah,
she would run into this. And next thing you know, she's like, "Oh yeah, I go and meet up with four or five women and we play mahjong." And so it's been really nice for me to just it's go adjacent
yeah,
enough that I'm like,
yeah.
cool, like tell me about it. So that's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, you can no. Maybe the way to weasel Go in is to say you can play for money because they play
Ah,
pandegi in Korean. I don't know what it's called in other places. Have you heard of it?
no. What is that?
So it's actually changes the dynamic of the game because you are earning money per point on the board.
Ah, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
I actually have I tried to ask somebody in one of the episodes about whether that made the game how Go is played in Korea more aggressive because of
Yeah. There's
that.
a lot of
I
theories about stuff
have
like
you
that.
okay, okay, got it. I don't know if you had anything to add to that theory, but
No, I have no idea, but I do know that I once came across, I think it was one of the lessons on Go Magic, Alex Dinnerstein, aka
yes.
Breakfast. Um,
Yes.
he he did like an offhand comment about gambling, and he was like, I knew people who gambled their whole apartments away playing Go,
Right.
and that is
Yes.
crazy because
Oh
that is
my
not something
goodness.
I see Go as, right. Like I see Go as this calm and peaceful game where you go in, it's just like a friendly little thing. So like to see that people get that caught up in it and throw away whole livelihoods like that is crazy to me.
That's terrifying because like I'll just be honest, like in my life, like me and my wife, like we are like risk averse and even more risk averse. So like we don't like to
uh,
take any serious risks like that. It's funny though what you mentioned about taking risks and saying like, hey, this is a calm game. I always thought, or up until the last when I started the game to I don't know, somewhat recently, I was of the mindset like, oh, playing Go. I want to strive for it to be like a calm experience or a peaceful experience.
mhm.
And it would keep on not being that way. I mean, I think you've been in this game a lot longer than I have, but it's like you just get so wrapped up in the game and like my heart rate starts going and it gets very intense. And then
Mhm.
I was talking with a friend who also plays Go in the Go community, and he was like, "Yeah, he's like, it is never calm for me. He's like, it is always super intense." But that's kind of why he likes it. But I think he's also just saying like that's how it is.
Yeah, it's maybe calm is not the right word.
You're
I
right.
can't think of a better word other than like it has like an intense quiet to it,
Yes, I
right?
that
And
that this sounds very on the spot, yeah, or very
yeah,
spot
even
on. Excuse me.
even if you're stressed like while playing it and you're kind of like so caught up in it and your heart rate is up, like there's something to that energy of just no other things going on that again, like I can't think of a better word, but like it's not calm, right? But it's something there that's just like settled, and it's just I guess quiet is the only word that comes to mind. Um,
Definitely.
I was gonna comment on a while back your wife commenting that she'd never known you to be into board games. I have a similar story with my wife because I was in like a slight go hiatus into a detour into chess during
When
the
was
time
this?
this was like 2021.
Okay.
Oh man, too much time has passed. Um yeah, I was like a little bit of a detour, right? So like Go was still like my main obsession, but then like, I kind of grew a little tired and chess also offered a lot of good things that Go offers. And I found chess to be interesting as well. I've talked about this. Like, it's not like I think one is better than the other and have to choose. I can play both.
Right.
And so I was in a chess detour. So she thought I was like a chess guy, like, and cause like it was a better dating conversation. Cause she like has also kind of dabbled, she knows the rules to chess, and we got to play a little game, here and there. But then there was a turning point when I went back to my roots. And then she was like, I didn't know you were like into Go. I thought you were into chess. And then so this whole thing happened where she reinterpreted my chess interest.
You flipped the script on her. Did that make her confused, or did it make her more nervous?
I don't think either of those. I think she she was like, I think the conversation came up in terms of gift buying, because she wanted to like get me something that I was interested in.
Right.
And she was like, in the beginning, I think she considered chess stuff, and then it turned into Go stuff.
You're like, listen, I have to be clear. I'm a Go person. I'm a Go person who plays chess. Right?
Yeah. Something like that. Have you ever dabbled in chess?
So I grew up playing some chess, and I played with this buddy of mine in middle school, and we only played, when I would go over. I actually just recently saw him, and I haven't seen him in like 15 years because just, life has gotten in the way. But I would play, and it was very basic level, right? Like, I understand how the pieces move, all those sorts of things. But it's interesting. I mean, just to tie it back to like the podcast, I find that the folks I've interviewed that are, higher level Don players, I've had more than, one or two of them be like, oh, like at points, like at my level or their level, like I just can get so stressed, or there's just so much intensity to playing Go, that sometimes I love to just play a game of chess because it's quicker and I can kind of turn my brain off. So I don't know if there's anything there. I know that there's a lot of, it's like, I feel like if you're in the West and you play Go, you have to somehow address or look at or be aware of chess in some way. I mean, do you agree with that?
I mean, I think anyone in general would like have to have some awareness of chess.
Sure.
But I guess you're kind of asking, as a Go player, you would have a little more like in-depth experience with something like chess.
Yeah,
than
but
the average person.
I guess, but it's like, I guess where my brain is going with that is, a question that comes up a lot, as I think it has on your podcast, is you can't help but think for Go, like, hey, do we want the game to be more visible? Do we want it to be more popular here in the West? Because literally almost nobody knows anything about this game, unless I had, if I hadn't brought it up, they'd have no clue. My family, my friends, my coworkers. And so I think the most analogous or closest game to kind of look to and say, well, that's a game that's fairly popular, people know it, is chess. And so I feel like I feel like this imposter. It's like when I go on Reddit and I'm going to the Arbitrary subreddit, right? But it's already, the algorithm has already figured out that I peek at the chess subreddit because, honestly, I've listened to some of the podcasts to just understand like what they talk about, like what are the things they cover in a non-visual format. Because, I know you got into in our conversation about how you got into doing the podcast, and I just wanted to understand that. So it's like, I feel like I've actually had to listen to basic level chess stuff and keep going back to it because of lessons we might be able to learn for Go.
Right. I've definitely done that. And just to be clear, your chess experience in the past is, would it be fair to call it Thanksgiving chess?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. I got to a point where, I think I got to a point where I really liked Go, but it was hard to like find content for Go, like especially in the podcast world. And maybe one day, like I wanted to listen to a Go podcast, but I just didn't have one, so I would listen to a chess podcast. Like I think
Interesting.
that might have happened at some point. I just was in this headspace where I just really wanted to like think about like strategy games. And so yeah, I think it's kind of inevitable for a Go player who is searching for things to, I mean, if you're a Go player and you haven't like taken chess seriously, I think you're either like still very much into Go, or I don't know. I feel like you will inevitably like consider it at least because it has a lot of similarities. So I think it would be natural for anyone to be curious, like, hey, would I actually like that one? On the other hand, if you are a serious Go player, you have invested a lot into Go, and it's hard to leave that. And that's something that a lot of people talk about. If you're stronger, like you can't leave because it's like you've built value in yourself in this game. Do you feel that way ever?
It's so funny you say that because it's like when I think about how I respond to my wife sometimes, and I know on the podcast I refer to my wife all the time because she is kind of like the center of my world, and I'm like, she's like, so what rank are you? I'm like, oh, I'm pretty low to low novice level rank. She's like, okay, but like you spend a good amount of time on it, outside of like family and work stuff. And I was like, yeah, I end up doing it. Yeah, a lot. And she's like, okay. So it's like, I feel like there's this.
So
Yeah,
if Mrs. Travis is listening, he's underselling himself. He's actually very good at the game. Like so the thing is with this hobby, everyone who's playing this game is obsessed. And so if you're at your level and like I'm at mine, we're great at this game, I think. And so I think that's a thing that Go players do is we sell ourselves short because humility is built into the culture. Like we were supposed to be humble about our game, and we're supposed to be like, I don't know anything about this game, and I don't know anything about like what the next level is thinking about. And that's the way we learn. So we're used to talking about ourselves that way. So
it could be. It's a good point. It's like I think it's also like because the game is so difficult, you have to be you have to understand that like you are losing a lot of the time, right? If you're at least half if you're evenly matched. And so the one thing that somebody told me in an interview for the show was that there is a sort of level of rank. Who knows what? I'm sure that rank level moves around, but there's a level of rank where once you get past beginner, if you start to get it enough, that you're just hooked. And like there is no way. Like you may not play it for a while, but it is always going to be there, kind of like an itch in your brain, like, oh, I want to come back to it. And I 100% agree with that. I don't know if you do.
I do. I think it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about building value. Once you get past a certain point, you realize that you've invested part of yourself into the game. And yeah, I don't know what it is. This is something I wanted to comment on, is that I feel like there is a DNA like combination among the population that either tells them like you can play, you are a Go player or you are not a Go player. I just feel like that exists within our like selves, and it's not something we can control much of. Like I just happen to be a Go player, and if I try to force it on someone else, it's like, I'm sorry, I don't have that DNA. I'm not a Go player. As much as I want to think that everyone can pick up a stone and learn Go, I mean, everyone can, but I mean, I don't know. From my experience, it just feels very binary in that way.
What's your sense? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Justin.
No, go for it.
I wanted to get your 2 cents on, like, if you look at the higher level Go playing in North America, and you think about the North American Go pros, a lot of them have been of sort of either they're Asian by birth, or they're Asian American, or Asian Canadian. What's your take on that? Is the reason that those people end up being sort of the strongest players because it's often ingrained in their culture, so they might have seen it at the family level earlier? in life? I mean, like, do you think there's something there?
Yes, for sure. I can't say this without really interviewing every single one of these professionals, but from what I'm seeing and what I've seen, I think that by and large, a lot of these highest level professional players learned Go as a youngster, I guess is what I would
Yeah,
call it. Maybe
yeah.
they didn't learn at 4 years old as they do in Korea when they start training professionally, but fairly young, I think. And a lot of them, I think, what's interesting also in the American or like North American Go Federation is that I think they're all Chinese American or Canadian. I
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's any like
I think that's right.
Japanese
Yep, I
or
think that's right.
Korean. And my theory is that Chinese Americans, Chinese Canadians are more likely to pursue Go as like an extracurricular and have that as something that their child does. I just don't think that's in the culture for Korean or Japanese for some reason. I don't know, or maybe it's just
Mm.
that there's not for at least for where I'm from. I think the Japanese American population is a little lower, so maybe that's
Hmm.
also part of it. But I just know I see Chinese parents and they will say, "Hey, you learn Go," whereas I've never seen that for Koreans, like
Interesting.
myself. Yeah,
Interesting.
I was sent to learn piano and went to Korean school and things like that, but Go was never a part of it. That was just like my dad's side hobby.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I would like to see, it's not like we want to force like ethnicity in terms of like success in the Go world, but
Sure.
it's a start to have like American born, even if they're like Chinese American, they're still American, right? And so that's a start, but it would be nice to see a lot more diversity, so that people don't consider this as just an Asian game for Asian Americans or Asian players, right? Um, that's
Yeah, I
why,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, and clearly, like, clearly it's there because it's culturally ingrained, like you said,
Hmm.
in China, but also in Japan and Korea, but in very different contexts. And I've been able to learn a little bit about that little by little from folks that do work in some of those places and are trying to connect those dots. But yeah, it's like we're not going to have that connection here as much, and so you're going to really find it if you're a non-Asian lineage and you're in America or you're American, you're going to find it because of something else, right? Like, oh, maybe you get into math or you go see a chess tournament and then
Yeah.
somebody's playing Go and you're like, what is that? So I think to your point, it's just it's cultural, and I'm sure it'll shift over time.
Yeah, and it's difficult, right? Like if you're um primarily just English speaking and you're a parent and you're like, I want my kid to learn Go, or maybe they just want a strategy game, right? Like some kind of game like chess or Go, and you're trying to choose. Look at the resources, right? If you're looking at like a club to send your kid to, like how are you going to find a Go club? You're just going to send them to
You're
chess,
not.
right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
very difficult. It's not just like the numbers, right? It's obviously chess is way bigger, but also the language barrier. A lot of the Go academy for kids are probably like in Chinese, right? And
Right.
so yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just how it is right now, at least. Things could always change, and I don't know what the culture is like in Europe, and because I see a lot more Caucasian or just
Sure. Yeah.
European, right? Professionals come up from that scene, but from our scene,
Right.
it's all Asian Americans, right? Which is fine,
Yeah.
right? There's nothing wrong with that.
Which is fine. I've been on a streak of interviewing some very interesting German players that are very high level amateur players, and I guess I've been learning that a lot of their direct cultural influence was from Japan. So they would
Hmm.
have like Hans Peach, who tragically passed away, and some of these other German players that they were directly connected to some Japanese, either professional player or something in Japan, and so their influences come very much from Japan. But then, in America, I don't know if you would say there was a particular influence from Korea or Japan or China. I'm not really sure. but I feel like there's a lot of Korean um, influence as well. Like I feel like we have a lot of, like you said, a lot of players of Chinese descent or lineage become professional players or be the strongest players here. But then you
Mhm.
have people like, Hajin Lee, or who's now, her day
Mm-hmm.
job is not that. She used to be a Korean professional, or
Yeah,
Yoon
and
Kyo
Youngwan Kim.
Do, and yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point. It seems like Koreans are doing a lot of outreach in that way, where they do want to go and connect and spread the culture. And then you have like the ground level, like parents teaching their children Go, and those are tend to be Chinese American. Uh,
yeah.
but historically, it's Japan. Japan has spread Go to the world, and including the United States. Um, even though the AGA is older than the Neon Keen, which is a very cool fact.
Is that true?
Um,
Really?
yeah, it's incredible. I think the AGA is the oldest Go. I gotta fact check this.
Oh, I would imagine it was started in maybe like the early 1900s, right? Wasn't it like is it Ed Lasker, or don't quote me on that, but
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
one of the
it's Ed Lasker.
Laskers. It was like the
Uh-huh.
cousin. It was like the cousin of the world chess champion, who was like, "This is cool. We should do this." I don't know exactly.
Yeah. Oh, actually, oh man, might be like mixing up my facts. I guess the Neon
Mm.
Keen is like a decade older than the AGA.
Oh,
It's the maybe
interesting.
it's just the KBA that the AGA is older than.
Oh,
But
okay.
still, it's kind of crazy.
Interesting. That actually makes a lot of sense because, like, I remember just like talking to somebody about the history of Go in Korea. They were really into, and you will correct me, is it Joseon? Or it's a different form of Go where you start in a position where there's a bunch of pieces already on the sort of edges
Oh,
and
that's
sides of the
Sunjang Baduk.
Sunjang. Thank you. Excuse me. Joseon is like a historical people in
Yeah.
Korea. Sorry about that. Yeah, but exactly.
No.
So, interesting. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still mixing around. Like, it's not like we're done learning and trading cultural knowledge. It's a new age, and with the internet, it's spreading faster. I think, and I hope. Sometimes I check the Arbaduk popularity and subscribers like count, and I see it going up. Nothing like chess, of course, but still.
Yeah, it's like on a different scale.
Is that something that you think about a lot, like the popularity of Go and like whether we want to make it more popular or not, and whether you would want it to be more popular?
Yeah, I mean, it's like to me, it's like the $1 million question. I think the podcast got started, interviewing people. It just maybe it's the same for you too. I don't know, but it's just like I I've gotten a whole range of great answers from different people on whether they want Go to become popular.
Mm-hmm.
I've started to think more deeply about, like, okay, my personal preferences I find in my life is that I often don't like going for the thing is like that is really, really mainstream popular.
Right.
So it's like if it's like,
Right.
the big band or the big whatever, I'm like, I almost poo-poo that. I'm like, oh, I don't want
Right.
to go towards that because everybody else is.
Yeah.
And so I think some people might do that, in the West would go too. I don't know. But the thing that I've gotten really good answers on like every side. So I've gotten answers from guests where they say, "Oh, I don't want it popular because maybe to get it popular, we need to dramatically change the formats of the game to a level kind of like what chess.com has done with
Mm-hmm.
chess, and maybe that is a form of the game I just don't want to be a part of." Okay, that's one answer. Another
Mm-hmm.
answer is, hey, you can really want it to be popular, but like, guess what? It's just not going to be. It is for a particular type of person.
Right.
Like, like you talked about, I think there's a fair point there. It's like there are particular kinds of people that like these sorts of abstract puzzles and things, and so you're not gonna see that as much. Then on the other hand, though, I hear really great arguments from folks like the PlayGo.gg co-founders that I spoke to last week or I think a week or so, where they're like, hey, listen, like if we tap into things that make new games more interesting in the West and just try to tap into like the chess community, because I think a lot of us found Go in some way, directly or indirectly, through chess, then you could open up a whole new set of people that have never played the game before. But I think for me personally, it's like, yeah, it's something in just a lot of the people, if I'm trying to interview somebody for the show or if I'm just personally talking or grappling with something, a lot of time that is like the central question that comes up because, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question. And I do think that I personally would like it. I think the term I've become more comfortable with is I'd like it to be more visible. So I'd like the game to be, I'd like it to be something where like if I mention it, people don't look at me like I have 10 heads and they're like, you mean like go like moving your body, like going? Nope. Right, because it's, as we know, I know a lot of folks have talked about the terminology. So it would be nice if it was just more visible. I think if it, not even that we would get it, but if it was like all of a sudden you snap your fingers and it was incredibly popular, one, I think I would be completely blown out of the water, right? Like you talk about like with poker and other games of skill, where like if there's a whole lot of people that come into the game, what's going to happen is that the talent pool will change. So I'll probably drift to the back, which doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter.
No, but I don't think so. You'll be at the top. You'll be at the
initially.
You'll be
Initially,
at the no, I don't know about that. Like
no.
I mean, you're gonna get like prodigies jumping right over you, but I think for the most part, you're gonna be leading the pack. That's what I think.
That's actually a good point you bring up, though. Is like I think the prodigy thing is pretty real. Like I don't know how it applies, but like I think about other sports or activities. Like I used to do bicycle racing, like road racing, like Tour de France, right? Like you ride on the road, whatever. So I would do it in college. And I remember like, I'd be training for all season for multiple years to be good at that level of race. And then there'd be like somebody in there that nobody's ever seen before. And they just start riding away right at the opening of the race. And it's like a, 60-mile race. It's a long race. And we're all looking at each other like, that's crazy. That person's never going to survive. I mean, they're going off by themselves. In bike racing, it's really the wind. The effect of the wind is like very important. And the guy just went off in the beginning. We never saw him again. He crossed the line by himself. And I think that in Go, I feel like we've seen that. You don't think that would happen as much? Because I feel like it still does.
Wait, maybe I missed it, but that guy who did that, how much experience did he have?
I think he didn't. I don't think he had a lot of experience. I think he was just naturally very talented. And yes, I think he rode a bit, but he was just rising up through the ranks, right? Like this was just a very brief stepping stone on the way to being a much higher level bicycle racer. So,
yeah. It's a bit of an uncomfortable truth sometimes to think about whether you have, you don't. And actually something I think about often is like, do I have an aptitude for this game? And like, would I have a better aptitude for something else? For example, chess. And I think when I did my detour, I was like, what if I'm just going to be better at chess? If I tried to pursue chess, is my brain better suited for it? And would I be more successful in it? And it's really not easy to answer that question. And I don't know if there is an answer to that question. But I mean, aptitude is only one part of the equation. The other parts, there's like determination and like how much practice you put in, how much you love the game, and all of that it combines into what you are. And so maybe you don't have that much of that DNA, and that's okay. I mean, if something is like, if it's a nurture versus nature question and you don't have the nature part of Go, you can still go very far. And if you follow like competitive sports and things like that, there's so many like mixtures of talent that rise to the top, right? So Um, do you feel like you think about your own aptitude for the game a lot, or do you just kind of play and then just let it happen?
No, I mean, I think I do. I think not only I think in our culture and society we're like kind of built, I think, to think that way, but I I often have to come back and be very conscious about what I am trying to accomplish. So like I'm playing Go, I'm playing to a certain level. So like right now I'm in a phase where I'm actually trying to get some more live games in, which is actually in my particular life is very hard to get those live games in for various
Mm-hmm.
reasons. I was on a streak where I was doing a lot of correspondence games.
Mm-hmm.
And what I always sometimes I get distracted, right? When I play those games or I do certain things where I start naturally focusing on like the gamification. So I start looking at, the rank level and then I say, wait a second, that for me, I'm very confident and comfortable with the fact that it's like that doesn't really matter. It's interesting, like I've noticed, and this has been a topic of I know conversation probably for yourself on the show and also for others is like, so for example, right, like the games I've mostly played have been on the online Go server, OGS, and there's been this really interesting trend for various reasons that, and it could have to do with it being mostly queue players on OGS. I'm not sure, but it's like I noticed that like my rank was getting better, and then in the last year to two, it kind of like drifted right back to where it was a few
Mm-hmm.
years ago. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, there could be a lot of reasons, like who knows exactly what this is, and I
Right.
totally, accept that answer. However, I have anecdotally kind of heard from other folks, and I've looked at other people that I played a while ago, and it's interesting. It looks like there could be, I think there's a chance that there is a like, hey, everybody is improving. And so
Yeah.
you're not worse or you're not standing still. It's just that you've gotten better in
Yeah.
tandem with other people. I mean, do you feel like that happens with your play?
I also think about that, and that's why rank is so it's kind of fickle, right?
Yes, I
It's
agree.
not objective. The rank is not objective; it's relative, and so one dan today is not the same as one dan 10 years ago. So if you played Go 10 years ago and you're one dan, and like you play today, you may not find yourself in that same spot. Um, and you're gonna maybe say, "Oh, I lost my skill over the 10 years." So it's hard. You can never be sure what
Mhm.
happened.
Right.
Um, but it's just our approximation of like our way to get skill up, like skill to meet like skill. Um, and OGS has actually gone through an overhaul of its rating system at some point, and I like that's
Yes.
how I got to SDK, I think.
Multiple
But
times. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, if the whole school of fish is moving together, it's like you might not feel like you're moving, right? Because but I don't know. I think for me, I have this intuitive feeling within of like I got worse or I got better. Like I feel it. It's almost like when I'm
Mm,
playing games, I will not see my rank change, but I will have this sense of like I know more than I used to, and I feel
yes.
it. Like, and then I have this confidence underneath that, like, oh, my rank will show eventually, but right now it's still at a certain level. Um, and I don't know. It's just like I think when you learn something, you know that you learned something, and like that might not reflect immediately in your rank,
Right.
because of many reasons, right? I think like uh, you just might not have like the right matchups for a while, right? Like you could just be unlucky, and just people like who are actually stronger than their rank come one after another.
Yes.
Um, and there's just like a lot of variation, so it's really hard to say, and that's why it's probably not good to spend too much time thinking about your rank and why you are a certain rank or why you can't be another rank, and just play the game, and you will enjoy it, I think.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, you're absolutely right. I think it's like when we learn things and break through barriers, it doesn't always catch up and reflect in our rank.
Hmm.
The other thing that is really interesting, what you just said or what we just talked about, has been pretty well documented in other areas of life. So, have you heard the study that they did, where the sort of social experiment they did, where they said, okay, let's look at, let's give people a question of saying, hey, you can either say that you earn this much money per year, and everybody else earns um, less than you, but it's only a little bit less. Or you can have on an absolute scale a lot larger salary, like earnings in a year, but people earn a little bit more than you. Which one would you choose? And the really interesting thing is that people, I believe, would choose the first one. They would rather have the lower absolute amount of money, but they would rather have the one where they are on a relative basis a little bit higher, a little bit
They
better.
value the status associated with the money.
Yeah, right, exactly. And so I think, the
And
example.
this is, I'm assuming, economic
Yes.
like effects aside, right? Like,
Yeah.
like it's not going to change the economy.
Well, it's interesting, right? Like we exist in places and things where there's cost of living, right? So it's like, how much does it cost for me to, buy milk or buy gas or whatever? And so what's interesting is if you were being a purely rational, thing, you would say, well, God, I could care less what other people are earning in comparison to me. I want more money. I should just take the thing where I get more money. But we are social creatures, and we do care about what other people make in comparison to us. And so because of that fact, or because of those pieces of human nature, we care about it. And so I think it's to your point and what we're talking about here, where it's like, oh, my rank hasn't changed, but it could be that I've gotten stronger. Because to your point, it's like, I definitely feel like I've gotten stronger. I don't feel like I've regressed, but my rank hasn't changed because maybe everybody around me is working just as hard, or is progressing faster. And so then it comes back to that whole question. It's kind of the same question. It's like, hey, Travis, do you care more about the rank being a better number than other people, which is almost indirectly saying your rank goes up? Or do you care about the fact that more and the game's more rich and it's more fun? Or, is it more fun that you learn more? I think, it's like, I want to do the latter. I want to feel like, hey, it doesn't, the rank doesn't matter. I just want to learn in these games and learn new things and enjoy the puzzle.
Right. Well, and the implication is that if you choose the one where your rank is higher than others relatively, and you haven't enriched yourself with more knowledge, that means we're just decreasing the knowledge of the Go world.
Right. Exactly. That's not good either.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think it's hard to not think about it because it is a big motivator for everyone to just climb the ranks and everything. But yeah, it's a thing where you just have to think about it as a motivator, but then also just not think about it too much. And
right,
and
you have to you have to connect to it for a little bit, and then kind of disconnect from it, and then connect to it. It's like this whole gamification works, right? Like if you make things about a number and a number going up and these sorts of things, it could get you more motivated, which can be a good thing. It can also be used for bad things when we go on tilt.
Yeah, that's why I think one thing Andrew Okun, the former president of the AGA, was always a proponent of awarding ranks to keep forever as an achievement. So if you get to 7Q, you get a 7Q certificate, and then you can't derank, and that's just it. You've earned it. And there's pros and cons to that, but one of the positives is that it reduces anxiety. It celebrates your achievement, and it may be a little problematic, right? After a period of time, it's you start to wonder what exactly is 7Q, and is this certificate worth more than that certificate or whatever? But overall, I think the attitude is right in there, where we do want to kind of celebrate achievements in a way. And it is a big thing when you reach SDK for the first time, when you reach One Dawn for the first time. And that might mean different things across different decades, but it's still a thing. I think, one day I hope to reach One Dawn, even though I've been stagnating for a while now. I think more people have been stagnating longer than me, so I shouldn't think that it's not possible.
Hey, Justin, do you feel like the lines, the thresholds are relatively arbitrary? For example, I think you've said in your podcast that you are somewhere around 3Q, I think, on OGS. Aren't you you're already Dawn level on Fox, right? At that level?
Yeah, I reached on level a while ago on Fox. That was a big thing
Yeah.
for me. I
Yeah.
was very happy. Yeah.
It's
It is
huge.
arbitrary. Because then, like, you know what Go players do, at least like myself, you reach one Dawn on Fox, you're like, yeah, but I'm not a real Dawn yet. I have to get Dawn on
You
OGS
gotta
or
get on
AGA
OGS.
or something, right? Like,
Right.
you have to get
Yeah.
Dawn level on the hardest Go server to
Hardest
get
thing
Dawn
ever.
on for
Yeah.
some reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's why I guess maybe people say I'm one Don Fox or I won Don OGA, and then that's
Right.
enough. But
Right.
yeah, ranking is a big thing. Do you have a goal? Are you trying to get to one Don one day?
It's funny. Like I was just talking to a Go teacher who's also like one of the stronger players in Germany, and um, he was talking about the whole concept of like doing having a reach goal. Like, hey, like have a reach goal. Say like, hey, I want to get to this rank by whatever, a time by the end of the year or whatever. And if it's a goal that's a reach, but you're still motivated enough to go after it, then afterwards, like you're trying to trick yourself. And then afterwards, you're like, okay, I didn't get to that reach goal of like whatever. For me, I'm, kind of right smack in the middle of like 910Q OGS. Let's say, I don't know what the reach goal would be. Like, let's say I wanted to get to
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know, 7Q, which would I
Mm-hmm.
think be a huge reach between now and the end of the year. Considering I've been in like 9 to 10 to 11Q for the last like few years.
Mm-hmm.
But if along the way it's like you try for that, and then if you get to 8Q, like, well,
Yeah.
hey, like that's great. So my answer is right now I don't have a goal. My answer is like what I try to do is I try to really leverage the games I do play by trying to be very thoughtful about like, okay, how do I review my games and my thought processes at different steps of the game, and then have my teacher go through it with me. And then other people. What's really wonderful about the podcast is that I've been able to get, as I'm sure you have, excuse me, this like just mini community of people that are often stronger players that are just really willing to be like, hey, Travis, like I'd be happy to review this for you and look at this game for you. And so that's been really nice.
Yeah, that's like one of the best things about the Go community. And which is why I guess maybe some people don't want it to be more popular, and it's the
I get
visibility
that.
thing that you said earlier.
I
I
get
think that's
that.
something that really resonated with me because I just want people to know what Go is, right? Like,
Right.
um, but yeah, I
Yeah.
have so many other things I want to ask you and talk about, but let's maybe wind down a little bit with some
Sure.
rapid fire questions, and then we can kind of close out the episode.
Oh man, I get
Um,
to, I get to be in the rapid fire. This is so great. I've
yeah,
listened to so many of your rapid fire
oh,
episodes. Let's do
really?
it. Yeah. Let's do it.
First time guest has to go through the gauntlet. So you might have had some forethought on these.
I have not, but
Okay,
let's see how it
ready?
goes.
Let's go. Okay, black or white?
Black.
9 by 9, 13 by 13, or 19 by 19?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 19 by 19. Definitely.
4-4 or 3-4?
I've been in a 3-4 thing because I'm of the mindset right now that I want to actually kind of. I know you can go either way with this, but like right now,
Yeah.
there's so much variability in the game. Like that can be one thing that I can just set at 3-4s for the moment until I get that figured out, and then I'll go to other starting moves.
Interesting. Yeah, I've been 4-4 for a very long time, and I'm
Really?
just
Oh,
going
okay.
back into like maybe I'll try the 3-4 again.
Would you
I
switch it?
should.
Like, what would make you switch it? Would you just do it like kind of just randomly, or would you say like,
Random, yeah,
okay,
totally random. My
got
mood,
it,
just
got
yeah,
it?
I'm just like what? Because in the beginning, anything is possible. So I just kind of yeah. Online or over the board?
Hmm. I find over the board way more enjoyable and fun. But I play online much more often, as I'm sure a lot of people do. And the other thing with the over the board is like when I get it on my terms, I will play for like it'll be like a 3 hour game. Like it'll be a
Mm.
really long game, which is completely um
Which you like
not
or not?
real. It's what I like, but it's not realistic. Like for my lifestyle, like if I can get a day off to have a 3 hour period to do it with my one of my buddies here, like that's a miracle. So
Okay. Yoyomi or Fisher?
I still I'm still doing Byoyomi a bit. I've been starting to play Fisher online, and what happened the other night when I was playing a game on OGS at like 12 o'clock at night, I played Fisher because I do feel like it gives me a little bit better clarity on like how long the game will be. However, I completely forgot as the clock wound down. I kept thinking in my head, like, oh yeah, like, the opponent's got the Byoyomi, like it'll be fine. And then it just, they timed out. And also, I think they saw that they were, not in a winning position. And I was like, oh, wait a second. I completely forgot. So I'm trying Fisher more, but like I have to remember that you just do not have the same ability to save yourself at the end.
Right. Yeah. It takes a. Actually, I when I tried Fisher, it didn't take too much adjustment. I just kind of.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
That's
know
good to
what it
know.
was. Yeah. Favorite pro? Do you have one?
Favorite pro. Um, okay, so favorite pro that I I try to understand. I guess I might go with the answer that a lot of folks go with is like maybe Lee Chung Ho.
Uh
Um,
huh.
the way that I've been told that sometimes he does it, at least for the first half of the game, might be more understandable for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been told that like his second half, where his ability to calculate is like would be very challenging for me. And then the opposite to that, like somebody who I'd have no idea is like Go Sagan. It's like I can't even
Oh
approach
yeah.
understanding the moves that are played there.
Both very good answers. Do
So.
you have a favorite Go book?
Okay, I'm gonna go different on this because you've mentioned some wonderful books for learning Go. Um, I'm gonna go for like a Go book that, and actually you've also done ones that are fiction, right? Like The Master of Go
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. I'm gonna go with Hajin Lee's book, where it was really just all of her online blogs, and then she made it into a book. It was just so much fun. Like I felt like she sucked me into like the place and time of her life and what she was going through when she was trying to become a pro in Korea, and then like some of the things she was dealing with her family, and then being able to be like, you know what, like, do I want to be a professional in Go? Maybe I want to do other things, and going through that process. And then Justin, like honestly, to afterwards then be able to interview her about it was like it was the best. Like it was so cool to
Wow.
just get
Yeah.
inside her brain.
And
So
that's
that's my answer.
outside the board.
Yes,
Diary
thank
of a
you. Outside
Professional
the
Go
board.
Player, right?
Outside the board.
Man, I gotta
Exactly. It's just
check that out.
it's just really fun. It's really fun the way she did it.
Where did you find it?
That's a great
On Amazon?
question. Where did I
Oh, I think
find
I
it?
see it on Amazon.
I think it's on Amazon. I think it is on Amazon. I think if you go on Hajin Lee's, like if you just Google Hajin Lee, you'll
Mm-hmm.
also, I think on her website, I think she has it.
And I'm seeing a credit to Andrew Jackson as the designer or something on
Oh
this.
yeah. Seattle Go Club, right?
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Yeah, okay. I
Very
know he
cool.
does. I know he has a lot of stuff online as well.
Okay. Next question: resign respectfully or hope for a mistake?
Listen, at my rank, I'm trying to resign respectfully less. I'm trying to keep going because they're just
Yeah.
like the swings
Good.
at 10Q on OGS are pretty dramatic. I've been doing a lot
Yeah.
of teaching games where people have been super nice to play that are, on level or even, high level single digit Q. Those ones I've been a little bit more aware of like, okay, I'm quite behind and it's later in the game. I need to stop. I've been actually asking though, because they're teaching games to say, hey, do you think this is a good point to stop? And they
Yeah.
usually let me know.
Teaching game is different though.
True.
You were saying at my rank, and I thought you were gonna say I have to resign respectfully. So I was about to argue with you there, but you went the other
Okay,
way.
good.
So
All right,
that's
you were
good.
getting ready. I was saying no, no, no. Like there's still like it's
Yeah.
a rare game where the point swing is never more than like 5 to 10 points. That has rarely happened for my level so
Yeah. That's
far.
almost
Yeah.
like a feat in and of itself, just to
Is it? I mean,
get
it
a
feels
close
like
game.
it. It feels like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I remember going 0.5 on a game with someone, and I lost.
Oh my
And
gosh.
although it was painful, there was like something part of me that was like, "That's pretty cool." Like,
Totally.
um,
And I just want
yeah,
to say, by the way, because I know you've mentioned in your episodes that like you'll have correspondence games. going on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you'll have a correspondence game that might last for just like quite a bit longer than you really ever wanted it to last? Like it might go weeks or maybe even longer. And then there are huge swings at the end of the game. I'm just curious, like, have you ever gone through that? Because I've gone through that, and like Justin, it's so emotionally draining that I'm just like, I don't know if I could do this anymore. And then, of course, I just go back to the whole issue of like, well, Travis, what are you going to do? Are you going to do a live game or are you going to do a correspondence game?
Right. I can't say I can pinpoint that experience in particular. I know that like, and actually recently I haven't seen as many, maybe because I haven't been playing as many, but
Sure.
when I used to spam correspondence games, for sure there would be like that one game when you'd cycle through and you'd get to that one and you'd be like, what was this again?
Oh my gosh, it's so frustrating.
Yeah. No, but correspondence pain is real. Like where you've spent so much time on this game and then this stupid mistake comes out and you just ruin everything. And it's like, this is like a 2-month long game. And it's like,
Exactly. That's exactly what happens. Like my teacher's like, hey, like you missed the simple move. And I was like, yeah, I missed that simple move because that was going on for about 2 weeks. And I like straight up just started to forget about it. So yeah, exactly.
I literally just woke up when I played that move. Attack or defense?
I'm naturally a defense person, and
interesting.
often when I mean, like they say, right? Like this game is a mirror of like your style and your personality and other parts of life. Over and over again, the things I'm trying to work on, it's like we find that like I could have attacked and either captured the opponent, or gotten out instead of trying to go into defensive mode. So yeah, defensive.
Yeah, I always find it interesting to meet defense players because that's not me.
That is not you. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it from from your show.
Blitz or long games?
Long games. Yeah, Blitz is like if you the age at which I started this game, because I was in my mid 30s, mid to late 30s. It's like I need every second I can get. So if I have more time, it gives me. Otherwise, if you look, like if I try to have my teachers review a very fast game, and for me, Justin, I don't know for you, for me, Blitz is like 5 minutes start time, main time with some Yoyomi.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty
to
fast.
Me, it's pretty right. So it's like, and in that you'll just see like very simple mistakes. So yeah.
Well, you should try. You should try Gauntlet one day, and maybe those mistakes might get rounded out.
What's that speed?
Oh, no, I just like as a figure of speech. Just like I'm just saying, like try like a whole bunch of them, because like if you try one, you might just get discouraged. But then if you try a whole bunch, you might start to see the rhythm. And
well, listen, you'd be proud of me. I'm doing some 5-minute main time games right now. I'm doing some 5 and 10-minute ones
as we speak, right?
Like not literally while we're on this recording, but I've been doing it in the last like week or so. So I'm trying to do the whole, like, I think you've spoken about this too. It's like I'm trying to barbell it. It's like, okay, do like longer format games to really think through moves, try to read, but also do like short ones to like try to build up like any sense of like good shape and those sorts of things. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'll try to tune into All Things Go to see if you update on how that goes.
That sounds great.
Do you have a favorite Go variant?
I've learned about a whole bunch of them. Like I think the one color Go sounds the coolest to me. But there was one that I think Nathan Morris, who's Telegraph Go, on YouTube, I think he called it Blob Go. I could be wrong on that, but it's like every move you make is, I think it's 4 stones in a square shape.
Oh,
and so you have to really, you have to think creatively about how to play certain moves.
That is really weird. I gotta try that.
Yeah.
Single convex or double convex?
All the way double convex. I'm so excited that I get to answer these questions, because hear everybody else answer them. It's like, wow, I get to do it. Yeah.
Okay, we got 3 left. Influence or territory?
I don't know how to use influence, so I'm going to say territory.
Oh, that's why. Okay, maybe that explains the defensiveness.
Yeah.
Playing to improve or playing for fun?
Yeah, I'm gonna chicken out and say like it's got to be a combination of both. Like I'm not having
Ah,
fun. I'm not having fun if I'm not learning about something and taking like something away. Like the worst thing I could do, or I think I could do, is play a game and either not record it so I can't review it, or just like not even think about it after the game. So I guess
you
all
know
right,
what?
fine. I'll lean to fun. I'll say for fun.
Oh, okay, playing for fun. Got it.
Okay.
Okay, I was like, you know what? This is a common answer. And that, like at the first time, I was like, oh, that's it, very insightful. They're the same thing or whatever. And then like second person said it, and now you're like saying it again. I was like, oh man, I need to like get people to answer this question. But
Now you're
you
like
went
the
on.
enforcer on a hockey team. You're like, listen, you need to answer this question, and I know you're a hockey fan, so.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And then finally, do you have a favorite Go proverb? Your
That's
audio has
tough.
not stopped.
That's
We're
tough.
just
Yeah, I
waiting
can't.
for
No,
Travis to
it's
think of
tough. I
one.
can't. I can't think of one I really love. It's probably the original translation of the like play urgent moves over big moves, and I think there's like
Hmm.
a really cool translation that's like you probably know it. It's like don't don't go outside if your house is on fire or something
Don't
like
go
this.
fishing. Don't go
Thank
fishing when
you.
your house is on fire.
That's it.
That one's holds a special place in my heart because my friend would chat that to me over and over again when I had no idea what this game was about.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah, that's a good one.
Well, listen, this has been really fun. I feel like there's so much more I would want to talk to you about, but we'll call it for tonight. Would you want to say anything else to the good people? Anything you're working on for All Things Go? Anything interesting lately that you've experienced or want the listeners to know?
No, I just want to say, Justin, like this has been a lot of fun. So thanks so much for having me on, and I'll keep listening to the show because it's really great to have. So thank you, and yeah, if for everybody else, check out the All Things Go podcast when you can.
Yes, please do that, everybody. Go over to All Things Go. Thank you so much for Travis for coming on.
Thanks so much.
So, if you can't get enough of Starpoint and you want another Go podcast to listen to, I mean, I'm sure you found All Things Go by now. I mean, you must know about All Things Go. But anyway, we did a collaboration today here, but we also did one over on the All Things Go side. So, if you want to hear me on the All Things Go podcast, go check out. We should be releasing this episode on the same day, so you get the double whammy collaboration Monday podcast episode. So go to All Things Go. I will put a link in the description. I just constantly feel like I'm preaching to the choir. You guys, you Go podcast listeners must be aware of both of these two podcasts because they're the main ones out there right now. But now it's time for the DDK Advice Corner, and the tip of the day is Sente is a double-edged sword. What I mean by that is sometimes you have a Sente move, you play it, and actually that response that your opponent makes to your Sente move hurts you, might even put you in Gote. So when you play that Sente move, or rather before you play that Sente move, make sure that response that your opponent can make doesn't hurt you, and actually explore those responses that your opponents can make to your Sente move, because you don't want to be put back on the back foot and then lose that Sente. And that's the tip of the day. Sente is a double-edged sword. And now it's time for listener mail. Sadaharu writes, my strategy in Go is to play the correct moves, or rather, avoid playing the wrong moves. If you don't want to estimate scores, one way is to make sure that you don't lose out in every situation, because as long as the result in each situation is not a bad result, then the overall result will most likely not be bad either. But this may be tiring because it may end up in a long, draggy game, and you need the opponent to make mistakes in order to win. I'm trying to be more creative nowadays, but I can't help but go back to my style when I don't know what to play. Well, it's actually quite reassuring to me that you say that, because I am kind of too lazy to evaluate a board a lot of the time, And my go-to has always been to make sure all of the exchanges are good for me. And to hear someone at a much higher level say that to me is reaffirming. Although I have learned that evaluating the board can be very useful to me. And better, I mean, easier said than done. Your strategy is to play the correct moves and avoid playing the wrong moves. I wish it was that simple. But you know what? Maybe it is. Maybe it is that simple, and I just can't see how to do it. You know what? These weird esoteric type of pieces of advice are sometimes more helpful to just kind of recalibrate and just think about like, okay, have I just been playing the wrong moves, and then just go approach your game that way and then try not to play those wrong moves. Might be helpful. Anyway, thank you for writing in, Sadaharu. Otan writes, "Hi Justin, I just wanted to share with you a game I found on Android Marketplace called Ego Shill. It's really good at giving new players guidance on where to place. It doesn't really explain the why, but if you play enough, I'm sure you will start to see patterns. Also, I found it a great way to turn Go into a cozy game, noted a few episodes ago. Low stress and easy to pick up at any time. The game has experience and levels, so even when you lose, you still feel like I've made some progress, and you can even still make a great comeback from a horrible misclick that I've discovered a couple of times now. This is called Choice Battle. You always get 3 strong moves, and you pick one. Anyone feel free to add me, Autonomos, and we can duel the AI. That's Otonomos. If you can add Otan and play together. So I'm kind of curious about all that stuff you said right now, because it seems like you can duel the AI. What does that mean? And then you have like the 3 suggested moves. That's cool. I think that is a great way to maybe teach or introduce someone to a game. So what you see is like 3 options. It's like a multiple choice question rather than overwhelming the player with the whole board. I might have to check this out. This looks pretty cool. Android though, I'm not an Android person, so unfortunately it might be a little hard. I do have an extra device lying around, but not as convenient if it's not my on the go. Thanks for sharing. I will be sure to, if I can find it, link it in the description. Ego Shill. I say shill because in Korean, S-I-L is shil, and so that's why. But Ego Sill, or whatever you want to call it, is probably fine. Okay, so I'm going to link that over. Thank you for writing in, Otan. Question of the week this week is, do you want Go to be popular, or do you want it to just be visible? As we discussed in the episode. Do you want everyone to, like a lot of people to play Go, like it's like the next big thing and everyone's like playing Go? Or do you want it just to be like awareness, like you want people to know what it is when you say, hey, this is Go? Or do you not care about any of that stuff at all? If you want to share your opinion on that question or anything else related to Go, you can leave a comment wherever you found this episode or email me directly at starpointpaduk@gmail.com. That's starpointbaduk@gmail.com. If you're a YouTube listener, I'll greatly appreciate a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. If you're a podcast listener, reviews and ratings also help, and give me a follow if you haven't already. Special thank you to James B, Brendan S, Tristan, Jeff H, Tyrannoton, aka Otan, the one who wrote in today, and Andrew P for supporting Starpoint. Thank you guys so much. If you want to support the show in any capacity, you can go to kofi.com/starpointpaduk. That's KO-FI, or check out some Go goods at the Starpoint store at store.starpointpaduk.com. And come on over to the Discord. You can find the link in the description and chat about Go with other Starpoint listeners. So sometimes I talk about fighting games, like last week I talked about Smash Bros. But another fighting game is Street Fighter. And if you know anything about that game, there are some cool special moves in that game. One of them that you may not know of, it's when Ryu chucks a Goban at his opponent and he says, Badouken! Thanks for listening. Keep playing Go.